What up, cuckolds? It's your boy, the hater, up in this mug. Hater on the road! Well, today is Friday, which normally would mean we're going to do a Friday night SmackDown review, which obviously we're still going to do. I might just release it tomorrow because this video had to be made, you know what I'm saying? This video is largely about rumors involving one Vincent Kennedy McMahon. That's right. The rumors are stirring, and the hater needs to talk about them. First things first. The first rumor, if you will, I'm calling it a rumor because it's been misreported by many different people, is that Vince McMahon's legal troubles are over. That's not true, all right? So he settled with the SEC, the Securities Exchange Commission, but that does not mean that the investigations around him being, a potential rapist, nor his civil suit are done, right? That stuff's still pending, you know what I mean? That's not over yet. Those are two separate things. But this is obviously a step in the right direction, at least with respect to clearing his name with the SEC. The big one is not the civil suit. The big one is the criminal trial, if there even is one, right? Because I'm not even sure he's going to be indicted, right? Like, we don't even know what evidence they have. But that's the stuff that could get him in trouble, that could land him in prison, etc. I highly doubt that's going to happen because I feel like if there would be any evidence towards that conclusion, we would have heard it by now, right? So chances are Vince McMahon's not going to go anywhere in terms of prison. He may have to pay some money to the woman that sued him. He actually owes her money from the NDA, as far as I understood. So there you have it. However, the more important news here is it's almost like fantasy booking at this point because realistically, it's probably not going to happen, right? But there's murmurs that Vince is starting his own wrestling company. This is a complete, if this were to happen, I mean, it would be kind of crazy if you think about it. But basically, this comes from some podcast with JR and that guy named Conrad. I don't know who he is, but I keep hearing that name. You know what I mean? Conrad this, Conrad that. I don't know if he's in the know, because quite frankly, like I just said, I have no idea who the fuck this guy is. Nevertheless, according to Conrad, Vince McMahon is setting something up for 2025. Now, the hater Googled this and found a Reddit page that was talking about this, right? And all these neckbeards on Reddit, which I don't know for a fact, because I'm not really privy to the online spaces, but based on what I saw, I can only assume that Reddit is neckbeard central, you know what I mean? All these neckbeards were talking about Vince McMahon like he's some piece of shit. And WWE happened randomly and separately from him. Vince McMahon is still that guy. You understand me? And this is the problem that I have with the majority of neckbeards. So a lot of his businesses failed. Yes, a lot of them did. But he didn't start small businesses. He tried to compete with the NFL. You know what I mean? He tried to start high risk, extremely high reward type businesses. So it's a little bit different than someone's business failed because they opened a store and the store didn't do well. If you consider what WWE is, right? Vince McMahon has started and succeeded in dozens of different businesses. Because WWE is one business, but all the different parts of it are not necessarily commonsensical elements of a wrestling company. For example, having action figures, having, video games, having vacation packages, having a cartoon. These are not things that necessarily go hand in hand with a wrestling company. So Vince McMahon is an extremely successful business person. Most importantly, right? Let's not forget for a second, cuckwads. Most importantly of all, Vince McMahon has started a company where he promotes fake fights in a fake sport and has grown this company to a multi-billion-dollar company. You can make an argument that Vince McMahon is the most impressive man that's ever lived in terms of business. You can make a solid argument like that. Now, even if you don't agree with that argument, I think almost everyone in the world would be forced to agree that if Vince McMahon were to start another wrestling company, I mean, that right there would be like enough. Just him just starting another wrestling company would be incredible. But imagine on the off chance, and I understand at this point we're fantasy booking, right? But like, imagine if this were to happen. Just imagine, like, let's say on the 1% chance that Vince McMahon starts a rival wrestling company and starts beating the WWE. I don't even think at that point there would be any arguments left. Vince McMahon would be the greatest man that ever lived. I mean, if he could do that. I don't know why he would, to be honest, but like, imagine if he did, right? That would be insane. You understand me? That would be crazy. So with all that being said, I don't like how everyone wants Vince McMahon to fail. I want Vince McMahon to succeed in anything he does next. And if anything, let's not forget one important element. And that important element is like, let's say he doesn't even do a wrestling company. Let's say Vince McMahon's next venture is, I don't know, cartoons or video games or the NFL again. You know, he tries to compete with the NFL again. Or basketball. Who the fuck cares, right? Doesn't matter. Let's say it's movies, right? Something very accessible. That would be amazing, right? It doesn't matter what he does. Everyone should be excited about what he does next, because if he puts his heart and soul into something, there is a small chance it's going to be as good as wrestling was. So the fact that people want him to fail really goes to show how stupid the modern fans are. The modern fans are the dumbest people of all time. This man invented wrestling, and everything that we love about wrestling is a direct consequence of the existence of Vince McMahon. But these dumbasses don't understand this. They're like, oh, Hironobu Hirohito in like Big Japan Wrestling, this guy's the best booker of all time. Vince stole it from him. Like, shut the fuck up, you know what I mean? Like, aren't you tired of telling yourself these lies? Like, none of that shit matters. The only character that matters in the history of wrestling is Vince McMahon. And then maybe after that, it's like Stone Cold and The Rock and Hulk Hogan. Nobody else is important in the slightest, cuckwads. Nobody out there could give a rat's balls about anybody else and their impact on wrestling. Not the guy that started ROH, not New Japan, none of that shit. So, if Vince McMahon is even doing anything, and I think that's what we need to take from the rumors, is the possibility that Vince just isn't done. You know, he's 79, so like, he's not like dead. You know, he's got a lot of years ahead of him. But, you know, at 79, being a multi-billionaire, you know, you might think to yourself, all right, maybe he's like, fuck it, I'm just going to go like bang 25-year-olds or do whatever the hell Vince McMahon wants to do for the rest of his life. But he's not that kind of guy. So anything that he tries to do is inherently interesting. You understand me? And we should be happy about this overall, right? We can't be angry at the fact that we've got someone like Vince McMahon trying to do new things. You know? These are the things that make, I guess, you know, the world go round. We need more Vince McMahon and less everybody else. Now, I know what some of you are obviously thinking. Vince McMahon's been out of touch for years. No, he hasn't, okay? Vince McMahon has followed the money for years, right? Because he's beholden to his shareholders. Vince McMahon, do you think that Vince McMahon doesn't find it funny anymore to have his ass buffered on national TV like he would do in 2004, right? Of course he finds that shit funny. That shit is hilarious, right? But the problem is he can't do it anymore because the direction of the show has gone, you know, elsewhere. Now, with him starting out from scratch and doing something new that he's never done before, whatever it may be. I mean, obviously the coolest thing would be wrestling, but let's not like, you know, get too excited for ourselves, right? If he did something like that, I mean, we would all watch. And you all know we would all watch. So that being said, cuckwads, you know, I look forward to seeing if there's any truth and veracity to any of these rumors. I really hope there is some truth to it. That would make things a lot more exciting than what we would expect. But anyways, cucks, that's been the video for today. We're going to do a SmackDown review. I guess I'll do it tomorrow. I'll probably watch it later tonight and record it maybe later tonight, but I'll probably release it tomorrow so that everyone can like kind of watch it normally, see how that goes. So that being said, cuckolds, take care of yourselves and your mothers and look forward to any more rumors involving one Vincent Kennedy McMahon cuckolds.